Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Self-Love Sunday here in Freedom Seekers. So it's a pleasure to be here and do this phone calls or Facebook Lives. Today, I am going to be speaking about transmutation. I heard one time someone say, we human beings were powerful alchemists. And the person was referring to our power of transmuting energy. So we can turn any dense energy back into high-speed energy. So energy, sometimes we tend to judge it. In a moment, I'll talk about it. We tell to say, well, this is a bad energy, this is a good energy. What about if energy is just energy? And there's just some energy that travels very dense that, makes us forget who we are. And there's just another energies that travel really fast that are very close to source energy. And that we have the capacity always to transmute the dense energy into high energy, the dense energy into faster frequency energy. So that's today's topic, is to use the power of alchemy, and we all have it. But before we do this, I'd like to say hello to those of you who are getting online. I see Christine's name. So hello, Christine. If you get online, please say hello in the comments so I can see you. But I also see names, even though you haven't written anything. I see Debbie, Rogers, and Jags. Yeah, so good to have you here always. So while you're getting online and saying hello, as always, I like to begin this Self-Love Sundays with a couple of deep breaths, just connecting to the present moment and connecting to what's real with a capital R, not real with a small r, which is the, just the this third dimension that we perceive with the five senses. Reality with a capital R goes beyond the five senses. It goes into that realm of energy and different frequencies. And reality is knowing that the presence of love and the presence of light is never in absence, and we are never in lack of it. So that's reality with a capital R. Reality with a small r is full of circumstances, facts, complaints, and all of the things that we already know, which means to be a human being. But reality with a capital R is when you get beyond those circumstances and you realize, ooh, I'm exactly where I need to be right now, not a minute late, not a minute too early. This moment is exactly what needs to be happening. The presence of love is never in absence, it's always present. And I'm all right. Everything is going to be all right because everything is all right. Debbie, hello. Hello, Debbie. Hello, hello. All right. Well, so I encourage you, if you're watching right now, if you're going to be watching later, if you have the opportunity to sit straight in a comfortable position, make sure your spine is aligned so that the energy can flow when we're breathing in and out. And if you can close your eyes, I always say if you can't close your eyes because you're driving or something, it's all good. It's all about just breathing. But if you have the opportunity to go a little deeper with your body, just to get a little quieter, I invite you to do that too. So when our eyes are closed, we begin to see better. We begin to see with the inner eye. And with our ears are willing and available, we begin to hear with the inner ear. So close your eyes, put your palms facing upwards, and I encourage you to take a deep breath in and exhale, let go. Inhale, let go. Inhale, let go. Inhale, let go out the mouth. Please join me. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. So in this moment, we start connecting to that reality with the capital R that we talk about. And we start paying undistractable attention to what is real. We start paying undistractable attention to the present moment, to our bodies. I want you to start paying attention to all the sensations that you have in your body, like you're scanning your body. Just pay attention to your body and the sensations of your body, the temperature of the room. And at the best of your capacity, try not to judge anything. Just be the observer of what is in this moment with full compassion and unconditional love. Notice your thoughts. Notice your reactions to your thoughts. Notice if there's any tension in your body and just breathe through it. We're not judging it. We're not condemning it. Condemning? We're not trying to be something that we're not. We're just simply relaxing into this moment. Observing, breathing. That's all we're doing. We're just being present. And so as we're breathing in and out, we're just saying thank you life, thank you spirit, thank you life. Thank you heart that you're beating 100,000 times a day and I don't have to do anything for that to happen. Thank you sun that came out one more morning and I didn't have to be worthy of it. I'm worthy just because I exist, and Father Sun keeps coming out every morning saying, I am here to love you. You don't owe me anything. Unconditional love. So beautiful. We surrender to the perfection of what is. Pure, sweet surrendering. No more fighting, no more resistance. So we bless this beautiful Facebook Live that we're about to have. We bless every single soul that is present in the phone call. We bless every single person that gets to see this video. And we bless everyone in the world, all our brothers and sisters that are walking with ourselves back home. We're walking back to love. So we bless our life, we bless this moment, and we are ready to begin. So we are going to breathe the last 3 times. Inhale, let go. Inhale, let go. Inhale last time. Now release. Beautiful. So very slowly and very gracefully we come back, we open our eyes, and here we are. So let's see, Jax, hello, so good to see you. Sandra, hello Sandra. Nicole, hi my love. Hi my love. So awesome. So today I decided to name this Facebook Live How to Transmute Our Pain, Fears, Anxieties into Light and Service. So one person wrote me that I encourage you to do the same, saying, why don't you talk about this? And there is a part of my book, free, this is the Spanish version, but I have it in English, where I ask the question, when we're dealing with fear, we can ask fear, dear fear, you're having all of these fears because you're thinking about the worst case scenario. But tell me, what is the worst that could happen if I do X, Y, or Z? What's the worst that could happen? And so the person would say, brother, I read your book, and that question still goes around in my consciousness. Wait, wait, had to sneeze, but it left. Anyway, might come back. And that's a very powerful question. Whenever you're going through anxiety with pain or fear of failure, that's a very good question to ask ourselves. So I was going to focus my attention to that question. But then this morning I was having breakfast with a couple of cousins that came to visit from Panama. My mom is Panamanian, so they're visiting here. So this is the first time they're kind of like cousins that we didn't know. We're meeting them now. And so I'm sharing my life story. And I'm sharing with them that when I was a child, I was sharing with them, I had a terrible connection with food, or I started to have a terrible connection with food. And so I was sharing my life a little bit with them because we just met. And as I was speaking, I realized that thanks to my situation with food, or my situation with my body, the pain that rejection and inadequacy brought into my life, because of it, because that's how I first fell out of grace. I don't know if you remember when you were a child. I even remember the day that I told my mom, oh, life is not as fun as it used to be, because I was comparing it. I think I was in pre-kinder, or like, how do you call the stage before the first grade? I don't know. That was the year before my first grade in school. I remember saying, oh my God, this life is not as fun as it used to be. I remember playing and never really worrying about anything. But when I was 6, worry visited me for the first time. Anxiety, inadequacy, rejection. And I remember because of that, and because of my relationship to food, because I was looking for nurturing everywhere, and started having a really bad relationship to it. Or I won't even categorize it as bad. I was just eating to feed the hungry heart. At the time, my mom was working a lot, and I was being raised by, not raised, but my nanny was one of my aunties, and she was going through a lot. So as an empath, as a child that was an empath, I just took all of that energy. I felt a little lost. Food was my source of nurturing, and then everything began. And what did it begin at that moment? Well, lots of emotions, lots of despair, lots of fears, anxieties. I remember by the time I was 7, I didn't have any nails in my hands. I would bite them all. Like I would bite my nails just out of anxiety. And I remember feeling really lost as a child. Like, why everybody has to have a comment about my body? Why does everyone, and I didn't ask these questions exactly like this. Now I'm an adult and I know how to ask these questions, but I remember unconsciously thinking, what's up with everyone? How come everyone is giving me a comment about my life and about my body and about the way that I eat? I had no idea why that happened. And so through that, I remember feeling excluded, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. By the time I was a teenager, I was already doing crazy stuff to put the weight away from me. And by the time I was 20, I was already in full confusion because there's all of these ideas. Anyway, by the time I was 25, I graduated as a coach, 25, 26. I'm 34 today, and now I see it. Now I see it. All of that. And, my story might be something you've never heard. My story might be something that you went through, or my story might be nothing compared to what you went through. So we all have different stories. But in my case, I know that thanks to that, I developed such compassion, capacity for empathy, that right now I can use that in service of others and in service of my own life. So everything that is happening in our lives, at some point, we can use it for service to others. We can use it to transmute it back to light, because nothing is happening by mistake. None of that story that you have happened because the universe made a mistake. If you are the universe itself, you're an expression of the universe, you're not contradicting yourself, because the universe is a progressive universe that we're living here. Metaphysicians, I don't know how they do this. I should probably know the theory behind it so that I can have more context. But I've heard that, with their math formulas, they have stand in the verge of the universe, and they see how the universe keeps expanding, keeps expanding, keeps expanding. And so if this is a progressive universe and we are an expression of the universe, I am always expanding. So therefore, pain, fear, anxiety, and all the others that I'm not mentioning here, but all those dense energies are here for our progression, are here for our expansion, are here to turn it when we are ready. I'm not saying if someone transitioned back to eternity today or the other day, now right now you're like, oh my God, well, it's all for me and it's all good. No, we go through mourning times, and it's important to be respectful for those moments where something left our life, a season was done or it ended, and now we're doing that mourning process. We have to respect that. But regardless of where you are in your process, it's so important. And this is something I realized this morning when I was talking to them. Everything we get to transmute it into an energy of light and ascension. So imagine, I heard this from Dr. Sue Morter the other day. She's a brilliant woman. Want to check her out. She said, imagine that energy is just energy. That's not right or wrong in the universe. Right or wrong is a very human thing to do. So all of those energies that you've been through, that you're having right now, perhaps, what if this is what's making you a stronger spiritual being, a more evolved spiritual being? So she used the example of a tree. So you know how the bigger the tree, the bigger and the deeper its roots. So imagine an oak tree, and just visualize right now the roots of an oak tree. They're big, they're thick and deep, and they're strong. In fact, that's the first thing that happens to a tree. It grows with roots so that it can go up, so that it can sustain the strength of its height and its thickness. So what if pain and fear and anxiety and all of the duality that you've lived throughout your life have been you setting down the roots in Mother Earth, because you visiting those dense energies are an invitation for you to ascend, for you to grow, for you to become that tall tree, that oak tree that you're meant to be. If you see the seed of an oak tree is this little tiny thing, but then inside it has the intelligence that is going to be an oak tree. So inside of all of us, there's the intelligence that we're meant to be powerful beyond measure. We are powerful beyond measure. Of course, we come into this human experience and we compress into this human body so that we can have this human experience, and we forget. So as I said before, I remember distinctly being 6 years old, telling my mom, oh my God, what is this thing called life? And feeling very afraid because I was a child. I had no idea. I had no idea that there were so many energies. Before that, I was just in pure bliss. And so we fall out of grace. We forget. But then we get to remember. We get to remember, and as we remember, we start ascending. And not only that, we start giving this wisdom, whether that is through our word and through our example, or through both, to other brothers and sisters that are completely asleep. I hope you guys are following me. I hope you guys are still with me. Let's take a deep breath in. Let that go. So step number 1 for me is that when fear is telling you don't do that, or let's keep worrying about because we need to prevent the worst case scenario. What if the worst case scenario is your growth, which in fact, in hindsight, is not worse as case scenario, is the best case scenario? What if you talk to your fear and to your anxieties and you say, okay, I want you to tell me right now what's the worst that can happen? And just keep asking that question, what's the worst that can happen? You will see that yes, your fear is telling you, well, you know what, I'm going to be rejected, I'm going to be not included, I'm going to be alone, I'm going to fail. And then ask that question, what happens if you fail? What happens if you are excluded? What happens if you're rejected? What happens if you're not loved? And then your fear is going to continue saying, well, I'm going to die. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're fearing, all of us. We're fearing death. Even if you're thinking actually that you're going to die, or you're thinking, well, I'm not thinking I'm going to die, but I'm so afraid of being lonely. I'm so afraid of not belonging. I'm so afraid of not being worthy. It's all pointing to our death. But what if we just keep talking to our fear, and we say, are we absolutely convinced that this is true? Or what we are afraid of is just to break through the veil of that anxiety and that fear and realize that we are powerful beyond measure? What if the worst that can happen is that you visit those dense energies and you grow your roots and you keep aiming for love, and all of a sudden you feel your expansion, you feel your growth, and then you, instead of going down, you start going up? What if? Let's take a deep breath in. Let go. So I'm merging two of the topics that I wanted to talk about today because of the two conversations I had. And so, how to transmute pain, fear, anxiety into light and service. Number one, everything is happening for us. The universe is not contradicting itself. There's no mistakes in this universe. You don't have to know why they happened or why they're happening right now if you're not ready to know that lesson yet. As I said before, sometimes it's just happening in this moment, and you're not going to talk to a person that just lost his or her child. Oh, this is for you. It's not, that's not us using our discernment. It is okay to do the mourning. It is okay to go through the phase, the dark night of the soul, because in that dark night of the soul is where we get to find all of the gifts. So if you're not in that moment just yet, put it in the back of your mind. Oh, at some point I will know this is happening for me. I don't know now. I don't know. And I'm going to say, I don't know. Because if I try to make it positive right now, I'm going to get pissed off. But I'm going to put it in the back of my mind. There's moments in my life where I go like, I'm just going to put it there. I know it's for me. I don't know why. It's so confusing. I don't know why, but I know it's for me. And step number 2, I know that there's an invitation. Now I have trained myself, and I keep training myself every day, that whenever I feel anxiety, whenever I feel like I want to go eat everything, whenever I feel like defending and fighting, I just go and tell myself, ooh, this is a good day to practice. This is a good day to practice. This is a great day for my soul. Now, for my ego, for my soul. Reverend Mike has that quote in his book, Spiritual Liberation. A good day, a bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul. So pain, most of the time, it's an invitation for healing. Pain is calling forth healing. So there's a question that we ask is, what is my growing edge? How do you want me to grow pain? And pain, most of the time for me, is saying healing, healing, healing. Sometimes that healing comes in the form of bringing new habits of thought, of thinking, bringing forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful healing modalities I know. Learning how to let go of resentment. And the other day I was listening to Reverend Michael saying, this thing that we're doing, you guys dedicating a little bit of your time, investing your energy and listening to one of these videos, or reading a book, or going to a retreat center, whatever it is that you're doing the work. This work is the work of letting go. This is not a work of gaining anything. You cannot add anything to your brilliance, to your potential. You and me, we are already it. We're it. And it, I mean, we are the universe. We are powerful. And as I'm saying and I'm feeling these words, we are everything. I am that I am. We are everything. But here's the thing. We get so compressed in this human form that we completely forget. And sometimes when I've heard the words that I just said, I'll go like, oh, that sounds very romantic. That sounds really nice, but I don't believe it because I've forgotten so much. But so what if this work that you and I were doing in this moment is the process of letting go of whatever is preventing you from expressing your brilliance? So we're not here to gain any love, to gain any more intelligence, to gain any miracle, we're not gaining anything because we are it. But what if this is just the process of releasing the veil, releasing the illusion that tells you otherwise? Let's take a deep breath for that one. Now let go. And so pain comes to visit as a way of saying, hey, can you let go of everything that is not true? Pain is saying to you, hey, can we just let go of resentment right now? The problem or the situation, let's not call it a problem. The problem of the situation is that pain has been viewed as the enemy, as the villain, as the one that is putting us down in the rabbit hole of victimhood. Oh, pain, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me, says the victim. But what about if pain is just this great friend that says, hey, don't hold that anymore. Can you release it, please? I'm here to tell you that you're thinking too much about your past. Let it go, because it's not true. It's not true that you have to live in the past. Can you let go of the resentment about your parents? And I encourage you to watch that video, How to Forgive Your Parents, if you didn't watch it. It's here in Paola Castro and Freedom Seekers. I posted both places. What if fear is just an invitation for courage? And Nelson Mandela said it beautiful. Courage is not the absence the absence of fear. Courage is doing it despite the fear, because there is a vision pulling you. Fear pushes you down, keeps you small. But when we have the courage to say, what is the vision that is trying to emerge in my life? The vision will pull you up. Oh my God, sometimes there's a lot of fear. I know for me, when something is pulling me up, it's like, oh my God, give me just a second, because this is too much. But courage is saying, oh honey, you can do this. Just connect to your heart. What if fear is just a friend saying, hey Paola, you're too much in your head. Go back to your heart. I'm here telling you, you're too back in your head. You're too much in the past. You're too much in the future. Come back to here. Come back to your heart. I'm just a messenger. Just a messenger here. What if anxiety, it's an invitation of trust? Because we live in a duality, and everything is an energy, and then in one, it's like a coin. So you have two sides of a coin. So you have pain, but on the other side there's healing. You have fear, but on the other side there's courage. You have anxiety, but on the other side is trust. And I mean, this is for me, this is how it resonates for me, but it might be that the opposite to anxiety for you is something else. The opposite to anxiety might be for you, it's time to set some healthy boundaries with your family and friends. So it's different and very unique to each person. But I hope you're resonating with me. So I see there's a few people online. Let's take a deep breath. Let go. So those of you that are online right now, and if you're going to be online later, I love to see messages after this phone is over. If you're resonating, can you put a little heart just to see if you guys are resonating with this? If you're not, if you're confused, or if you're having a question right now, this is the time for you to ask a question. Please ask a question in the comments below so that I can, or you might not have any questions, but you just want to give us a comment so I can read it out loud. All right. So Kathy is resonating. Hello, Brandon. Super good to see you here. Super Brandon, super Paola. Thank you. I see hearts floating around. So if you can, Paola, Paula. That's so good. I don't know how I came out with there was a boss. I had a boss that he would call me Pow. And that was the way that he learned how to say my name correctly. So that's why I use it. Awesome. So I don't see any comments, any questions just yet. Jack says heart, says he's resonating. All right. So how to transmute our pain, fears, anxiety into light and service. Number one, the universe is not contradicting itself. You're not contradicting itself. This is a progressive universe. Therefore, everything is inviting you to grow, ascend, and evolve. Number 2 or number 3, there's an invitation in every chaos. Every chaos is looking for order, so there's an invitation. Are you hearing the invitation? Are you saying yes to the gift of pain? Are you saying yes to the gift of fear? Are you saying yes to the gift that anxiety is giving you? I tell you, if it wasn't because of what I've lived through in my childhood, and then as a teenager, and then as a 20-year-old, in relationships, so much confusion for me in relationships, especially romantic relationships, moments where I didn't know my worth. So I would find someone in my life that was a mirror of that, about me not knowing how to value myself. And now I see it clearly. In fact, there's a book by Wayne Dyer where he realized that every single thing in his life happened for him. And he wrote the book, said, I can see clearly. The title of the book, it goes, I can see clearly now. So can you see clearly now how every single pain and fear and anxiety in your life has made you the strong person that you are today, the compassionate person that you are today? Have you seen how you knowing how to hold space for your own pain has made you very, very good for holding space for other people? And why is this relevant? When we are going through pain and anxiety and fear and all the others that I'm not mentioning, we just want a solution. We just want to find a solution, Paula. Yeah, it's all good what you're saying, that I'm going to transmute it into light at some point in service. But, oh my God, I just want a solution right now. But what if the solution will come when you see that this is a gift and not a curse? It is really painful to accept it at first. What if the solution and the creative idea that you're looking for, so desperately looking for, is coming from that first step of having full surrender to the perfection of the lesson? You surrender and you relax into it. You sit with fear. You have a cup of tea with fear and you say, oh, dear master fear, show me what you got for me. I'm going to see you as my ally and not as my enemy. And you show me. And there, right there, solutions come to you. Insights. I know insights for me. It says, Paola, ooh, it's time to let go of that. No more stories. And I just told you the story of my childhood a little bit when I wrote it in the book too. And for a long time, I would say that story with pain. But today, I almost say it in a form of pride, not in a weird way, but in a way that I lived through that, and it's so cool that, as a little girl, and I've had to do a lot of work with her and tell her that she's enough, that she's okay, that I love her. For many, many years, I couldn't even voice my story because it was very painful, because I was still in that victim consciousness. But as I transmuted that into service and into light, I tell my story with enthusiasm so that it could be your story too. There was a lady that in one service, she went to the pastor. It was a Christian pastor, and she said to the guy, well, I can't see how this is a friendly God or a friendly universe. My son just died. How do you explain that? How am I going to turn that into light, into service? I'm devastated. And the pastor said, look, woman, I don't know why you're going through all of that. But one thing I know is that one day after you go through this, you're going to be able to walk with someone that has been through that. And you're going to turn that into service. And sure enough, in that service, there was a woman that looked at her and said, woman, I want to talk to you because 18 years ago, I lost my child and I thought I wasn't going to make it. But I made it. And I'm going to walk with you. Can I grab your hand right now? And we're going to walk this together. And that is the beauty of pain and fear and anxiety, that it gives us that level of compassion so that not only you grow, not only you expand, but the world. Because here's the thing, that sometimes when we are going through all of this fear, anxiety, and pain, we go into victim consciousness, which is survival consciousness, which is me, and I can only think about me. I, and you invest your money, you invest your time, you pay all of these courses and do all of these things to remember. And then you realize that when you heal it, and when you let go, that when you find the miracle, you find the healing, then people around you have received the miracle of you healing. So all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. All healing is the world's healing. Are you guys resonating with this? Let's take a deep breath in. Let's go. Awesome. So Debbie's putting hearts. Sandra says, I will. Sandra says, not seeing clearly, but willing. Awesome, Sandra. Yeah, willingness. Willingness is such a powerful question, especially when we are confused. The other day at Rhythmia, there was a guy that after a ceremony said, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. And you are confused because life is taking you out of a paradigm. When life shakes you so much that says everything you know is not going to work right now, you need to let go of everything you know right now. Become empty. Because it's broken your paradigm. It happens a lot with people that follow the rules. And they follow the rules, and it happens that one day, even though they follow all the rules, shit hits the fan. And they say, but I follow all the rules. What's going on? Why did that happen? Because life is trying to bring you something so powerful, so big, that it has to shake you. I was talking the other day how in the other last Sunday, I was saying that in my family, we grew up very Christian, and so dogma brings a lot of rigidity, a lot of black and white. Therefore, I was very yes or no. If you do something that is not right, I'm going to dismiss you from my life. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I did that for a long time. And it hurt me because it was so far away of who I am. But I learned that. I learned that rigidity, yes or no, black or white. And life brought into my life, life brought into my experience people that will shake me so much, and I would try to apply my black or white approach, and it didn't work. And it did not work. And I've met people that happen about their body temples. They do everything right. They exercise, they eat right, and all of a sudden they find themselves sick, and they don't understand why. Why? I mean, I've done all the good stuff. In fact, I just posted, if you didn't see it, on here and on my Paola Castro Facebook wall, the documentary Heal. That's a really cool documentary. If you don't have anything to do today, you want to relax and, watch some Netflix, I highly recommend you watch that documentary Heal. Where there is a lady, in fact, she also came to Rhythmia one time. She's so sweet. She said in the documentary, I've done everything. I was the yoga teacher. I was always happy, but she repressed a lot of emotions. And, in the outside, everyone would think, why would she get sick? I think she got to stage 4 cancer. And life was, shaking her. And now, she's part of a documentary, which is telling the world everything begins in a thought. We create this environment in our body because we entertain thoughts. And those thoughts can create chemicals, or they can create chemicals that are toxins, or they can create chemicals that are medicine. Viktor Frankl, you've heard me in class talking about Viktor Frankl. He went to the Holocaust. He was in the concentration camps. Torture happened to this man, and he transmuted that torture into service. He wrote that book, Men in Search for Meaning. He created logotherapy, has helped thousands, millions of people around the world with PTSD. I hope you're resonating with me. Let's take a deep breath in. Let go. One more time. How to transmute this fear, how to transmute this anxiety that I chronically feel all the time. How, Paola, how is... What is the invitation? We begin in the premise that nothing is happening against you. So what for? If today is not the day to understand what for, then we ask a different question, and we ask, what is the invitation here? What is the invitation? Okay, today I'm feeling Today I'm feeling so much judgment in my heart about, I've been judging everyone. I've been judging myself ever since I woke up this morning. What if right now you ask that judgment, dear judgment, what do you want me to practice? What's your invitation? And then judgment says, well, I can coexist in the presence of compassion. So what about if you practice some compassion? What if today you treated yourself like a mother would treat a child? Or judgment says, what if today you just accept that everyone is in their own journey? What if today you just let them row their own boat? You don't have to row their boat. What if today you just give so much love to yourself? Or perhaps today fear is coming up. Fear of the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen next year. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm so confused. I'm so anxious about the future. And you ask anxiety, dear anxiety, what do you have for me? And anxiety says, well, I'm here because you're not trusting life. You're not trusting that life is for you and never again. So you're not trusting that you have angels, spirit guides, beautiful light beings around you from other realms of consciousness wanting to help. You can just say help. Just say help right now. So say help. And I know sometimes in my moments of desperation, I just say to my soul, help. Ancestors, dear grandma, come help me. I'm struggling as a human being. Now I'm using lots of analogies, not lots of archetypes, lots of ways. Some of them might resonate with you, with your beliefs, and some no. But I'm not saying use what I'm doing, what I'm saying. Just see what of this essence of what I'm saying works for you. Every emotion, every dense emotion is an invitation for you to grow your roots. And then ask those dense emotions, how do I ascend now? What's my practice? I'm not feeling envious. I'm not feeling jealous. I'm not feeling, this comparison, creeping into my consciousness because I want to hurt myself. I'm feeling all of this because I'm being invited to go up. Because I just visit the roots. Now let's go up. Let's take a deep breath for that. Let go. Sandra says, yes, I've asked that help, and it helps. Yeah, they say angels or spirit guides are there waiting for you to say help. And it's so funny and so interesting how it happens sometimes. Sometimes I'll just open up Facebook and boom, there is a beautiful quote that is like, wow, that's exactly what I need to hear. Perhaps you said help and then you tune into this Facebook Live and this is an answered prayer. I'm so, so grateful that you guys take time to do this together. So grateful, so grateful. So again, if there's any comment, any questions, this is the moment to ask the questions. If we complete this phone call or this Facebook Live and you have a question, you have a comment, I always like to read it and answer as soon as I can. So I'm going to do a little meditation right now, a little breathing together. So I invite you to close your eyes in this moment, plant your feet in the ground, rooting your feet. Also, when you're feeling a lot of fear and anxiety, you can imagine that there are roots growing out of the sole of your feet, especially if you're in front of people and you're like feeling a little off. Just go to the sole of your feet and imagine roots growing and you anchoring yourself to Pachamama, to Mother Earth, okay? So do that right now. Anchor your feet to the ground. Grow your roots. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. And as you're doing this, we're going to start breathing in and out a little slower and a little deeper than you usually do it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So in this moment, we become grateful. Grateful to the present moment. Grateful because we are alive. Grateful because we get to experience all of it. Love and fear. Anxiety and trust. All of it. This is a full experience. When we talk about full experience, we're talking about it all. And when we get to have appreciation for it all, then we get to remember that we're a whole being. There's no more separation, no more judgment, no more prejudice against those vibrations that are dense. We just say, bring it all, bring it on and bring it all. Wheeling like a warrior, like a light warrior. Inhale. Exhale. So you sit right there in the center of your own beingness. And as you're sitting in the center of your own beingness, you're going to ask whatever emotion is floating to the surface, whatever it is that you're going through in your life right now. You ask this emotion, this feeling tone, what is your invitation? How do you want me to transmute you? Not because I judge you, not because I think you are ruining my life, just because I know you are my teacher. It says, dear master that I call fear, dear teacher that I call judgment, what are you teaching me? What is your opposite? What is your invitation for growth? And I want you to listen right there. What is your invitation? Life is pulling you. The vision is pulling you like a tall tree. You visit the roots. You know what pain feels like. You know what anxiety feels like. It's time to ascend, to go up with the great compassion, with the great strength that all of those emotions has given you. It's time to ascend. It's time to grow. Keep breathing in and out. Beautiful. As you listen, as you're willing to sit with you in your totality, we simply become grateful. Grateful for this knowledge, grateful for this wisdom, grateful because there are energies working for us. There are energies that want to help us. We say thank you. Thank you, heart. Thank you, intelligence of my body, for being so powerful, for being so loving, for being so kind and gentle. Thank you, universe. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, ego, for bringing contrast. Thank you all of me. Thank you all. Every single piece of me, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to breathe the last 3 times in this attitude of gratitude. Inhale. Let go out the mouth. Inhale. Let go out the mouth. Inhale. Let go out the mouth. Beautiful. So very slowly and very gracefully, we open our eyes and come back to the room. Thank you so much. And I'm going to see if there's any comments. And I don't see any comments, any questions. So I'm going to know that we are complete. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for doing this together. And I will see you next Sunday. If you have any topic that you would like me to talk about, do you would like us to discuss, please send me a private message. And yes, please like the video, share with your friends, invite more friends to Freedom Seekers. If you have anything to share with the group, please paste it on our wall and the Freedom Seekers wall. And that's it. That is it. Thank you so much. I love you. See you next Sunday. Goodbye.